So what we're going to do today is we're going to continue with naming compounds, but we're also, so some of you will have done it before, some of you have done it before with me and you'll pick up quite quickly. Some of you have never done it before, so you can revert back to finishing those first worksheets that we created, but I'm going to go through them anyway. After that, you're going to look at the reactions of acids and acids and bases, and your job is to name them. So I'm going to introduce you to naming the salts and the acids. Okay. Now, what you are going to look at is naming them. Okay. So let's go back over what we did last lesson. So, and there's nothing wrong with being, going over this if you didn't really get it the first time. So, as much as we've got H2, you ignore the numbers. This is simply hydrogen. It is the same as it is on the periodic table. And there is Mr. Hutton's periodic table. Now, very quickly, in terms of acids, all acids start with H, except for things like water. This is H2SO4, sulfuric acid, HCl, hydrochloric acid. We've got nitric acid up there, HNO3. The point of this exercise is for you to get used to the symbolic representation of these acids. This is how you name two things that have reacted. So here we've got copper and oxygen. Now, if they were mixed together and they'd not reacted, there would be copper and oxygen. When they do react, it will be copper oxide, not copper oxygen. Looking at Cu and S, copper and sulfur, because they've reacted, they will again end in ide, so copper sulfide. If you've got copper, sulfur, and oxygen, it will be copper sulfide. Because of the oxygen, it is an 8, copper sulfate. Now, what I've done, I've gone through that rather quickly, but what I've also done is I've put last session's introduction here. So you can go through it again, watch it again in a slower pace and name these. For those people who've done it before or they've got their heads around it, we are going to look at the reactions of acids. Now, you cannot do this unless you finish the previous worksheets. What's very nice is they've already given you the name of the acid. The general equation, acid add metal, will go to a salt, oh dear, salt and water. Sorry, salt and hydrogen. Oh dear, there's me jumping ahead looking at the other one, hydrogen. Now, that is what we call a general equation. Hydrogen is there. Now, this is the salt. You use a periodic table. This is magnesium, this is sulfur, and this is oxygen. This will be magnesium, which is very nice. The name is already there, magnesium. Sulf, but not ide. Right? It is not ide because there's an oxygen. So it's sulfate, magnesium sulfate plus, and the hydrogen is still hydrogen. Okay? And you have to name these. I will put in the general equations. Acid and oxide will give you salt. And water in words. And your job is to name this. This is copper and nitrogen, copper nite with oxygen, copper nitrate. And those are on the previous sheets that we did last week. All right. Now, the next one we've got on here is acid hydroxide is salt plus water. Again, you don't have to do that. You have to name these underneath it. All right, I will finish off the carbonate, which is salt plus water plus carbon dioxide. All right. You've got to get so good at this. It's as simple as someone said to me, what 7 times 2? I don't think about it. Hopefully you don't, and I go 14. Right? And it has to become like that. Okie dokie. Here we have how to name the salts. If you don't know, this is nitric acid, this is sodium hydroxide. You jam these two together and you end up with sodium nitrate. And you have to fill this table up. Okay. Over here, you've got to finish the word equations, and it gets really rather tricky. I don't expect you to get this far. I really don't. All right. So complete the worksheets from last week, then move on to that. All right.